Life's a Lottery now on 4, when it's 15 to 1.
David Whitley from Rainhill on Merseyside, Brian Pearce from Bexhill-on-Sea in East Sussex, Keith Fawkes from Thurmaston in Leicestershire, Tracy Farrell from Harlow in Essex, Paul Terry from Wokingham in Berkshire, Renata Edge from Glossop in Derbyshire, Evan Simpson from Eastcote in Middlesex, Matthew Shakespeare from Dudley in the West Midlands, Hugh Stewart from Gerrards Cross in Buckinghamshire, Rob Mansfield from Richmond in Surrey, Bob Jones from Bournemouth, Vera Blade from Banbury in Oxfordshire, Terry Connell from Stoke Newington in London, Jim Wilson from Hamilton in Strathclyde, and Stuart Whale from Tilbury in Essex are all here to play 15 to 1. Introduced by William G. Stewart.
Thank you. Hello. Our previous winner is Hugh Stewart from Gerrards Cross in Buckinghamshire, whose winning score of 181 last time was just enough for a place in the grand final. Welcome back, Hugh. There's the finals board. A storming finish yesterday by Susan O'Donoghue. 17 correct answers out of 20 questions gave her top place on the finals board, and she now sets the pace for our top of the finals board trophy. There's an empty place at the bottom that needs a score above 112 to fill it. The questions are ready, the contestants are ready as they're going to be, so off we go. 2 questions each in the first round, 1 correct answer from you to survive, and we start with David Whitley from Rainhill on Merseyside. David, 40 years of ITV. Only one of the 15 regional companies currently with franchises has had it for the full 40 years that ITV has been in existence. Which company?
Granada.
Brian, the Radio 4 programme, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, described as an antidote to panel games. Who chairs that programme?
I don't know.
Humphrey Lyttelton. Keith, what was abolished by a referendum in Italy in 1946 and by decree and a referendum in Greece in 1973?
Communism.
The opposite, the monarchies. Tracy, in which national daily newspaper does Maureen Payton review television and theatre, Ross Benson write his diary, and Garfield, a cartoon cat, appear on the back page?
Daily Telegraph.
Daily Express. Paul, who in September made the plea that over 3 million Chinese resident in Hong Kong should be given British passports with rights of abode in the UK?
Chris Patten.
Yes, the governor of Hong Kong. Renata, the Spanish Armada set sail in May 1588. From which port?
Tilbury.
Lisbon. Evan, please. The history of sport. Who is the only man to win gold medals for Britain at 3 consecutive Olympic Games? 1984, 1988 and 1992.
Seb Coe.
Stephen Redgrave, the rower. Matthew, which former leader of a political party still sits in the House of Commons 20 years after losing the leadership of the party?
David Steele.
Ted Heath. Hugh, music. A Savoyard is someone who is a devotee of whose musical works?
The Gilbert and Sullivan operas.
Rob, please. Which of the 6 Nobel Prizes was first awarded in 1969, the rest having been first awarded in 1901?
Physics.
Economics. Bob, which is the only country in the world that has an emperor as head of state?
Japan.
Vera, please. Shakespeare. Which pair of lovers in his Shakespeare tragedy are secretly married in his cell by Friar Lawrence?
Romeo and Juliet.
Terry, who in 1932 was the first woman to pilot a plane across the Atlantic? Amelia Earhart. Jim, this is children's books. What's the name of the wife of Babar, the king of the elephants, in the children's books by Jean de Brunhoff and his son Laurent?
Sorry.
Celeste. Stuart, this is television. Which ITV drama features the doctors Geoffrey Hoyt, Robert Nevin and Gail Benson?
Medics.
Yes, and your second question, David. Which European capital city has soccer teams called Atletico and Real?
Madrid.
Brian, who was the founder of the Christian Mission in Whitechapel in London in 1865, which later became the Salvation Army?
Booth.
Yes, William Booth, yes. And Keith, what are Meadow Hall in Sheffield, Merry Hill in Dudley and Lakeside in Thurrock?
Shopping centres.
They are. Tracy, which 18th century war was ended when Britain signed the Treaty of Paris in 1783?
No, sorry.
The American War of Independence. Paul, in Greek mythology, what name is given to the personification of the spirit of vengeance?
I don't know.
Nemesis. Renata, who is the Member of Parliament for Sedgefield in County Durham?
Tony Blair.
Evan, Shakespeare again? The opening lines of which play are, when shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning or in rain?
Macbeth.
Matthew, please. This is the Bible, which is the 5th book of the Old Testament and the last book of the Pentateuch.
No idea.
Deuteronomy. Hugh, medicine. What name is given to the branch of psychology which investigates phenomena which lie outside the sphere of orthodox psychology, such as clairvoyance and telepathy?
Parapsychology.
Rob, please. Books. A Summer Birdcage, The Radiant Way, The Gates of Ivory. The author, please.
I have no idea, sorry.
Margaret Drabble. Bob, international shipping. For what does the abbreviation GRT stand?
Greenwich Mean Time.
Gross registered tonnage. Vera, please. Eton College and King's College at Cambridge were both founded in the 15th century by which English monarch?
Henry VI.
Terry, please. Which book of the Old Testament in the Bible tells of the widow Naomi returning from Moab to Bethlehem with her daughter-in-law, after whom the book of the Bible is named?
Sorry, no idea.
The Book of Ruth. Jim, what name is given in the Western Christian calendar to the Sunday before Ascension Day? Rogation Sunday. Stuart, Chinese and English are the two most widely used languages in the world. Which is the third most common language?
Hindu.
Spanish. Five down, 10 to go. Laura?
And they are Tracy Farrell, Matthew Shakespeare, Rob Mansfield, Terry Connell and Jim Wilson. And of the remaining 10 contestants, 3 still have their 3 lives intact.
You can relax just a little, David. It's a long way from Merseyside, but you've made it through with 3 lives intact. Motor racing. Who's Damon Hill's partner in the Williams team?
I don't know.
David Coulthard. Brian, please. Which annual ceremony links awards which bear the names of David Lean, Richard Dimbleby, Michael Balkan and Hugh Weldon?
No, I'm sorry.
They're the titles of individual awards at the BAFTA ceremony, the British Film and Television Awards. Keith, what unit of frequency is equivalent to 1 cycle per second?
1 hertz.
Give me a number, please.
11, please.
Bob, classical music, the ballets, the Firebird, Petrushka, the Rite of Spring. The composer, please.
Stravinsky.
A number, please.
3.
Geology. What is alluvium?
I don't know.
It's material deposited by rivers. Silt. Again, please.
2.
Satellite television, Brian. Which satellite channel is jointly owned by BBC Enterprises, Thames Television, Cox Communications and United Artists Investment?
Sky B.
UK Gold. Again, please, Bob.
6.
This is music, Renata. The works of 2 composers are catalogued by K numbers. Mozart and... who's the other?
I don't know.
Scarlatti. Another number, please.
7.
Sport, please, Evan. In which tournament did the English golfer Howard Clark hit a hole-in-one in September?
The Ryder Cup.
A number, please, Evan.
12.
The Bible, the New Testament, Vera. The Gospel according to St. John. What miracle did Jesus perform at Siloam, a pool in Jerusalem?
I don't know.
He cured a blind man. Again, please, Evan.
9.
Hugh, what name is given to the transparent red variety of the mineral corundum?
Ruby.
A number, please.
1.
David, Local government. What in Britain are LEAs?
Local education authorities.
A number, please.
Number 9.
Hugh, what is the minimum age for legal marriage in England?
16.
Yes, with parents' consent.
Number 15.
Theatre, Stuart. In which Anton Chekhov play do Olga, Masha and Irina live in a provincial town but long to go to Moscow?
Uncle Vanya.
They are the three sisters of the title of the play. Again, please.
12, please.
Mathematics, Vera. If a triangle is described as an acute triangle, what does that tell you about the interior angles of that triangle?
None of them exceed 90 degrees.
In fact, all angles are less than 90 degrees, but I do know what you mean. A number, please.
5.
Paul, the capital, please, of Uruguay.
Montevideo.
A number, please.
3.
Keith, what unit of liquid measure is the equivalent to 10 pounds weight of distilled water?
Litre.
1 gallon. Again, please, Paul.
Number 15.
The USA, Stuart. Dover is the capital of which state?
Massachusetts.
Delaware. Again, please, Paul.
Number 7.
Mythology, please, Evan. According to legend, which king of Mycenae led the Greek forces in the Trojan War?
Agamemnon.
A number, please, Evan.
12.
Vera, which annual festival in the United Kingdom of music, poetry and dance includes the ceremony of chairing the bard?
The Eisteddfod.
Yes, the Welsh National Eisteddfod. A number, please.
Number 7.
Evan, what sort of piece of jewellery is a fibula? F-I-B-U-L-A.
A necklace.
A sort of brooch or pin or a clasp. Again, please, Vera.
5.
American literature, Paul. 8 Cousins, An Old-Fashioned Girl, Little Women. Who wrote those books?
E. Nesbit.
Louisa M. Alcott. Again, please.
11.
Bob, Canada consists of 10 provinces and 2 territories. Northwest Territories is one of the territories. What's the other one?
Yukon.
A number, please.
1. Number 1.
David, a person who has a mental age equal to his or her chronological age is said to have an IQ of what figure?
100.
A number, please.
Number 12.
Vera, what does the Latin phrase fortis fortuna adjuvat mean? Fortis fortuna adjuvat.
No idea.
Fortune favours the brave. Again, please.
Number 7.
This is the Bible, Evan, the King James Version. Thought to be a type of cypress, which wood is mentioned in the Bible as being used to make Noah's Ark?
Gopher.
A number, please, Evan.
9.
Science, Hugh. Which scale on which water has a value of 7 measures acidity and alkalinity?
The pH scale.
A number, please.
Number 5.
Paul, which 2-word French phrase describes someone who is well informed on or thoroughly conversant with a subject? Au fait. Again, please, Hugh.
Number 7, please.
The British Isles, Evan, the British Isles, geography. What is the calf of man?
It's a small island next to it.
Next to what?
Sorry, next to the Isle of Man.
Yes. A number, Evan.
11, please.
This is Shakespeare. Which generous Athenian host, whose name appears in the title of the play, having been denied financial help by his friends, invites them to a banquet and serves only warm water, which he throws in their faces?
Pericles.
Timon of Athens. Again, please.
12.
In which Scottish city are there football grounds called Dens Park and Tannadice Park?
Aberdeen.
Dundee. Dundee and Dundee United. Evan, please.
1.
Natural history, David. Which now extinct creature is the symbol of the Jersey Wildlife Preservation Trust?
I don't know.
The dodo. Again, please.
6.
Renata. What kind of psychological test was devised by the Swiss psychiatrist Hermann Rorschach?
It's an ink test.
It is, the ink blot test, yes, the ink blot test. A number, please.
9.
EC, capital E, small c, is the abbreviation for which book of the King James Version of the Bible?
Ecclesiastes.
A number, please.
Number 11.
Aviation. Which two cities in the north of England are served by the airport whose code is LBA?
Leeds.
And something else? I asked you for two cities, no? Leeds, Bradford. Again, please, Hugh.
Number 1.
Science, David. Notobiology, spelt G-N-O-T-O, notobiology, is defined as the study of life under what special conditions?
Darkness.
Germ-free conditions. It is as it needs to be. 12 down, 3 to go. And after the break, Renata Edge from Glossop in Derbyshire, Evan Simpson from Eastcote in Middlesex, and Hugh Stewart from Gerrards Cross in Buckinghamshire, again, will be here for the final. Do please stay with us.
You know Daz is good value, right? But did you know just how good? Especially when compared to some other leading brands. We asked people what they thought.
Top brand names, there's not much difference in price.
Maybe a couple of pennies here and there.
There probably isn't much difference.
So, what is the actual difference? It could be as much as the price of a loaf of bread.
30p? Oh, I didn't think it would be as much as that.
Goodness, wow. I didn't expect it to be quite as much and buy me an extra loaf of bread.
So go on, check Daz yourself against other leading brands. For whiteness and value, use your loaf.
Mummy, can Falcon come home for tea? Actually, it's Mother. Mummy is a vulgarism, and I'll require something of considerable taste to my palate. If you please.
She wasn't prepared for that. Luckily, with Findus, you're prepared for anything. Crispy pancakes with chicken and bacon in a crunchy coating.
Tarquin, do you know the properties of H2O? Of course. Jolly good.
He wasn't prepared for that. With Findus, you're prepared for anything.
Gino?
B&Q. Prices so low, you just have to tell somebody.
For the latest low prices on this, and this, all you need is this, your index finger, and this, the Comet Price Index. You'll find it every Saturday in every tabloid every week. And on teletext. It's your guide to the lowest prices. You can't buy better. The Comet Price Index. Better come to Comet.
At DFS, we've urgent news about our free for a year offer. This weekend, it's your last chance to take 4 years free credit and pay nothing for 1 whole year.
No deposit, no interest, no payments. Nothing to pay till November 1996.
And have this beautiful suite in your home in time for Christmas. It's free for a year. But you must order now. This combination ends Sunday 5 p.m. An offer from DFS years ahead of its time.
Multivitamins for children. Multivitamins with iron. Or with cod liver oil. With minerals. With calcium. Synatogen. Because people are different, all right.
At just 4p a minute for a local daytime call, it doesn't cost much to make someone's day. It's good to talk.
Whee! Guess which video I'd like for Christmas?
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
W.H. Smith has the perfect gift for musical mums.
Three surviving contestants in today's 15-to-1 final are Renata Edge, a self-employed craft worker from Glossop in Derbyshire. She works mainly in textiles and also makes corn dollies. Originally from Cologne in Germany, she has lived in England for 20 years, and her hobbies are reading and, naturally enough, handicrafts. Evan Simpson, a computer consultant from Eastcote in Middlesex. He works in Sunbury for BP, and he enjoys playing Scrabble and has recently taken an interest in golf. And Hugh Stewart, a retired actuary from Gerrards Cross in Buckinghamshire. He is still very actively involved with his profession, as he recently attended the International Actuarial Congress in Brussels. The next one is in 1998 in Birmingham, which will coincide with the 150th anniversary of the Institute of Actuaries in London. One of its founders was J.J. Sylvester, whom Hugh is researching.
Thank you. Welcome back. Nice little plug there, Hugh, I thought.
I was doing my best.
Renata, Evan, Hugh, put your fingers on the buzzers. We'll make a start. A winning score above 112 for a place on the finals board. Here we go. Listen carefully and try and picture this. If you sail due west from San Francisco in the USA, in which country will your next landfall be? Japan. In July 1909, it took a pioneering Frenchman approximately 38 minutes. Evan?
Louis Blériot flying the English Channel.
Yes. He landed in Dover and got £1,000 from the Daily Mail. To whom is a young woman called Tiggy Leg Burke a personal assistant? Evan?
Prince Charles.
Indeed. Physics, mechanics. The pivot about which a lever turns is known as the what? Hugh?
The fulcrum.
It is. Mathematics. What is the value of 25 divided by a half? Evan?
50.
3 correct answers. The choice is yours. Question or nominate?
Renata, please.
Renata, advertising slogans. Australians wouldn't give a 4X for what?
Anything else?
Yes, than a Castlemaine lager. Question or nominate?
Nominate Hugh.
Hugh, quotations. After I am dead, the boy will ruin himself in 12 months. The speaker of those words died in 1936. Who was he and who was the boy?
It was George V and Edward VIII.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Evan.
Evan, what was the last position held by Dennis Healey in a Labour government?
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Question or nominate?
Hugh, please.
On a genealogical tree, what do the terms spear and distaff mean?
The spear is the male side, distaff the female.
Question or nominate?
Renata.
Renata, with which musical instrument was Andres Segovia, who died in 1987 at the age of 94, associated?
Guitar.
Yes, the classical guitar. Question or nominate?
Question, please.
Politics. In her years in the House of Commons, Mrs. Thatcher held 2 cabinet positions. Which 2?
Education Secretary. No.
Prime Minister. Renata. Fingers back on the buzzers. Battles. During which battle of the Crimean War did the charge of the Light Brigade take place? Hugh?
Balaclava.
Question or nominate?
Nominate Evan.
The Church of England. To which post has the Right Reverend David Hope, formerly Bishop of London, been newly appointed?
Archbishop of York.
Question or nominate, Evan?
Hugh, please.
The United Nations, which is the only South American country to have provided a Secretary-General of the United Nations?
Colombia.
Peru. Perez de Cuellar. Yes. Again, please, Evan.
Renata.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Which American humorist was the creator of Walter Mitty? James Thurber. Again, please, Evan.
Hugh.
What are the leather shorts worn by men in Bavaria called?
Lederhosen.
Sorry, Renata. Question or nominate?
Nominate Evan.
Evan, in what activity were the Australians Ray Lindwall and Keith Miller famous names in the 1940s and 50s?
Tennis.
They were famous Test cricketers. Again, please, Hugh.
Renata.
Children's comics and cartoons. Which character has friends called Trevor Evans, Bella Lasagna, Elvis Cridlington and Station Officer Steele? No. Fireman Sam. I am back with you, Hugh. Question or nominate?
Nominate, please.
Evan, the calendar. After whom is the 7th month of the year named?
Julius Caesar.
Question or nominate?
Hugh.
For how many days does the fast of Ramadan last in the 9th month of the Muslim year?
40 days.
30 days. Evan, again, please. Question or nominate?
Hugh again, please.
The name, please, of the imaginary race of small people created by J.R.R. Tolkien for his stories.
Hobbits.
Question or nominate?
Nominate, please.
The common term, please, used to refer to the mean solar time for the 0 degrees meridian.
1 day.
Greenwich Mean Time. Again, please, Hugh.
Nominate, please.
Food and drink. In English, they are starters. In French, hors d'oeuvre. What are they in Italian?
Antipasto.
Question or nominate?
Hugh.
Radio. Who is the host of Good Morning Sunday on BBC Radio 2?
I haven't a clue.
Don McLean. There's a little way to go, Evan. 71 points you have. There are 16 questions left and 1 life left. 2 or 3 days ago, I think, somebody actually made 1 life, score 150 points. See if you can do something like that. Business and commerce. What term applies to the advantage arising from the reputation and trade connections of a business, in particular the likelihood that existing customers will continue to patronise it?
Goodwill.
Quotations. From the words of Lieutenant Hal Forgy, a chaplain in the US Navy, at the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Praise the Lord and what?
No idea.
Pass the ammunition. I think you're too young to remember the song, aren't you? Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Well, there you are, 81, a winning score. No place on the finals board, Evan. But if you can forget about all this, go away, have a nice Christmas, and come back and join us again in the spring. We'd like to have you with us. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Stay there. That's it for this week. We'll be back on Monday. Same time, same place, 4:30 Channel 4. See you then.